Welcome back, and we have an episode here of Uprising. So we have just had our pay-per-view, our April pay-per-view, which was Spring Stampede 2002. Didn't do quite as well as the last two, but it was still a good event with an overall rating of 78%. Curt Hennig retained his World Championship as Shane Douglas did his US title. Chavo Guerrero's new Cruiserweight Champion. New Cruiser Tag Champs, it's still the Young Dragons. Hardcore Champ is Sid Vicious. Tag Champs are still the Impact players, and the TV Champ is for Wall. So, what's going to happen this show? Well, as you can see, I've actually signed 30 stars. We're doing well financially. They're on very small contracts. A lot of them are youngsters, and a lot of them are in for development territory. And they're all tag teams, and I'm really hoping it pays off. As you can see, well, I'll show you after this show, but I'm really hopeful that we can get some decent tag teams, and they're not on big contracts, so if it doesn't work out, hopefully it won't be fatal for the company. But as you can see, two guys who are straight there for Bushwhackers. They're in their late 30s, but they're known, and they're fairly over, so they are going to debut by beating the Boogie Nights. Then we've got an interview with Shane Douglas hyping his matchup tonight. He retained his title against Canyon at Spring Stampede. He's defending his US title tonight against Jeff Jarrett. Hugh Morris is going to beat Air Paris. Buff Bagwell is going to do a run-in attack on the Cat. He beat the Cat at Spring Stampede. Sid Vicious is going to retain his hardcore title against Vampiro. The Impact players are going to have an interview against Jindrak and O'Hare after beating them and two other teams at the pay-per-view. Sting is going to beat the Animal. Jeff Jarrett interview hyping his matchup tonight as well. Then we've got 3 count over Billy Kidman and new Cruiserweight champ Chavo Guerrero. We've got a one-on-one angle here. LeRoux is going to come into the ring where Curt Hennig is, steal his title, and what's waffle him with it. That's the phrase. He's going to waffle him with it. And then in the main event, Shane Douglas remains the US champ. So, Alex Wright debuted his new gimmick and it got a positive response, but he lost overness from this match, as did Disco. But for Bushwhackers gained overness, so that is a positive. Battering ram, that's how it ended. Shane Douglas lost overness from this segment, disappointing. Hugh Morris Air Paris did decent. Yeah, obviously did Hugh Morris some good that match. So the Cat's in the ring, out from the back runs Buff Bagwell, slides into the ring and attacks. And the Cat gained overness from that. So I think this can be deemed a successful feud so far. Sid Vicious Vampiro, sort of a middle of the road match. Mike Awesome comes in to attack Sid Vicious after his victory. Impact players are backstage. That went well, and we need to give Jindrak and O'Hare. I need to work out how to make Tori Wilson their manager, because she's Jindrak's manager, but we want her to be the manager of a tag team, and I think that will add to their interviews another dimension to them. Animal vs Sting did okay. Sting was sluggish, as you'd expect. Jarrett, hyping up his match tonight, did okay. Used to be better in segments, but gone off a bit recently. Good match between 3 Count and the Filthy Animals 2001. And Curt Hennig here, he's in the ring. LeRoux comes in. After a few words, he grabs the belt, waffles the champion. There we go, that's that word, waffles. Knocking him out, LeRoux poses above him, the belt in his hands, and that went down very well. And Shane Douglas versus Jeff Jarrett in the main event. I thought that would do better. These guys have feuded before. But, yeah, for whatever reason, it just didn't work out very well tonight. But 72%, good show. Happy with that. And we got, is that arguably our best score for Uprising? 5.527, 7,500 people in attendance. That went very well. Okay. Unhappy workers. Sting's gone up to 12. So I'll give you a little insight. I mean, some of these they'll probably end up being nothing, but I got a bit carried away. I like for established tag teams rather than creating some myself. So, as you can see, the Ballard brothers, Shannon and Shane. Disciples of Sin, Damien and Payne. I think they're heavyweights. Dupp brothers. High Voltage. Now, I know they've been in WCW before, but I think they've got something about them. Give them another go. Hot Shots. Jablonski brothers. A lot of these are lightweights as well, and they seem to do very well in WCW. Long Island Boys, Lost Boys. Mean Street Posse. Do you remember them from WWF? That was a bit of a gamble, that one, but they're fairly over and they're on very small contracts. Overboys, Power Company, Raichies, Striker and Collier, and for UK Pitbulls, Bulk and Big Dave. Now, I have no idea how they're going to do, but they're in for development territory at the moment, so let's see how they progress. 5.88 for SmackDown. Thunder is not far behind at all. Sorry, Thunder. Impact. No, Uprising, that's what it's called. Okay, so 20th of April already. Let's have a look, actually, at the feud of Buff Bagwell and the Cat. Feud's ready to be ended. That's good news. Buff Bagwell will end up winning that feud cleanly in a gimmick match. Probably be for main event, so it'll be interesting to see how much overness these guys gain afterwards, because the two guys I do have high hopes for. So I think that pretty much ends this video. See you next time for an episode of Showdown.